Finally back on athletics. So today we're going to be talking about football, coaching football. So this video is for coaches, people that do coach, dads, uncles, big brothers, whatever. But we're going to be talking about wide receivers and slot receivers and 3 things to look for, 3 things to kind of take note of and focus on when you're dealing with wide receivers. A little bit against the grain, but we got 3 things. First thing is going to be common sense. Second will be something that does make a lot of sense. The third thing will be a little bit controversial or something that's, super to the left. But the first thing that you need to be aware of and focus on when you're coaching wide receivers from a skill set position is making sure that you're working on their change of direction and how to change direction. So the lateral movements, getting in and out of their breaks, coming around cones, being able to get into the stem and out of the stem, all of those things are super important. I know a lot of the media hypes on the straight line speed. I ain't mad at straight line speed. I love that. I'm a track guy as well, so definitely come from that background. But if I got a receiver that can't change directions, I got a receiver that can't break down a defender or know how to get, around the coverage or find the void in the defense, then his straight line speed don't matter because he's not going to get the ball. So just remember that even if you got a guy that's got some 4.2, 4.3 straight ahead speed going on, if he's not good at changing directions or if he's not good at getting in and out of his breaks or in and out of his cuts, then you got to know that his timing with the quarterback will be thrown off. And he probably won't get the ball a whole lot unless y'all just plan on bombing his ass the ball the whole game, which never really works, or at a certain point, it's not going to work the way you need it to. And then, of course, you're not going to have a roster. Most times, it could happen, of course, but most times you're not going to have a roster of receivers that have this amazing ability to just, catch out the gate and burn everybody. So you need to make sure, especially even with your slower guys, that you're really working your cones, really working your lateral movements. But of course, like I said, the first tip is more so common sense. I think most people coaching the receiver position and most receivers are working on these things. All right. Number 2 is make sure you put them in situations to where they can work on their ball skills and ball tracking skills. So that does not mean you have them just catching these perfect routes and perfect passes all day. You need to develop drills that allow them to get their arms and everything outside of the box, outside of their torso area, away from their body. You need to get the arms in front, arms behind, low and in front, all of those things. You need to work that. Because what happens is that when you train your receivers to only catch perfect passes or only catch the ball, at the top of a perfect route, then what happens is that if you go up against a team that has a monster defensive line and your quarterback is in trouble or he needs to get the ball off faster or, shit happens. It may leave his hand wrong or he may make a bad read or just whatever. Or he may throw that shit into bad coverage. Your receiver's job, and as a coach, you should be thinking about this too, is your receiver's job is to go get the ball. All right? That's it. Their job is to go get the ball, go track the ball down, and those balls are not always going to be perfect. Like I tell my receivers all the time, we don't have to prepare for good shit. We need to prepare for bad shit. You don't go to a fighting studio and prepare for a hug. You prepare to get punched. All right? So you need to prepare for bad shit. So you want to prepare and put them in situations to where wherever that ball is, they can go get it because they know how to go get it, because you practice and you teach them on how to go get the ball. So regardless of however the play went, whoever ran what route or whatever coverage they threw it into, whatever, the other team is like, God damn, these receivers, they just go find a way to get the damn ball. And that's going to fuck with a lot of people, and that's going to take your team really far. So make sure you're working on ball tracking skills and working on drills that not only help them master the perfect world situation, but also help them master the worst case scenario situation as well. So regardless of what happens, they're prepared to get the ball, go score. All right. So number 3 thing right here, a little unorthodox, really confrontational, whatever, is that you want to look for people who are a little full of themselves, a little cocky, a little full of themselves, who believe in themselves, high self-esteem. This is what that is. A lot of old school coaches may not really care for this because they consider these people troublemakers, or they're distracted, or, you know, they're not easy to get along with or whatever. In my world, I'm thinking, do I need to like the person, or do I need to respect their ability and their productivity level? I want productive players. So the fact that you feeling yourself, the fact that you coming out the practice sauced up, you know, you got the drip going with the sleeves and you got the visor on and shit. I don't care about none of that shit if you can catch the ball. I don't care about none of that shit if you running motherfuckers over. I don't care about none of that shit if you exposing people on every play, day in and day out. But you got to remember this too. What type of person is going to be willing to perform at a high level, day in and day out, get popped and smacked and cracked all up in their body and their head, day in and day out, and still have a good, uplifted attitude about it? Not the shy, quiet, check off the box, yes sir, no sir type of person, which all of those things are fundamental to have in regards of respect, but there's a difference between liking somebody and respecting somebody. So a lot of times you'll get authority figures, or you'll get coaches that may not necessarily like a player because he's a little too arrogant, or he may pop off at the mouth, or he may show a little bit too much passion, or he may be a little bit too much out there. But you got to think about it. This is the type of person, all right, that's going to produce the type of player that comes up with the results that you need. So I don't really care about how cocky anybody is. I don't really care about how arrogant anybody is. Give me a whole team full of arrogant people, because what I've learned from experience is that arrogant motherfuckers want to be good. Cocky people want to be good. They don't like to suck. So what other type of person would you really put your bid on? You know? Give me the person that's full of themselves, because they're going to come out, they're going to work, they're going to stay late, they're going to come early, they're going to want to be good. And when I coach them, they may have some slick shit to say, or they may be feeling some type of way, or they may be in their feelings, but I'll take that passion because I'm going to try to convert it into success. So in regards to this video, those are 3 things you need to really focus on and take note of when you're coaching the wide receiver position. Number 1, don't be overly romantic about their straight ahead speed. Make sure that they're working on their lateral movements, change of direction, and getting in and out of their breaks. Make sure, number 2, make sure that they're working on their ball skills and tracking skills. Just don't only work with them on catching the perfect pass or perfect ball, or only catching passes from the starting quarterback. Have them get in there and learn how to catch passes from the second guy. You know, and it doesn't have to be in a formal setting when you guys go in the team or playbook, but just working on different drills and things like that that challenge them and allow them to step out of their comfort zone and really be top-notch receivers. All of the greatest receivers in the world have learned how to catch imperfect passes, and they know how to go and get the ball, you know, which is why, you know, receivers like Odell can catch all these crazy one-handed passes, and he can go track the ball down, and he just kind of plays like a damn video game, is because he works on catching those bad balls. So he can catch anything, catch a perfect pass or a bad pass, it doesn't matter. But you have to work on those types of things so that you have those top level receivers, regardless of how fast or quick or athletic they are. They got sure hands. You want sure hands out of your guys. And then number 3, don't be afraid, or don't be turned off, or at least not too turned off. I can't tell you what's right and wrong for you as a person, as a grown person, as an adult, when you're dealing with, you know, these younger people that you're coaching at the receiver position. But try to look at it in a different light when you're dealing with an athlete who may come across as abrasive or full of himself or cocky or arrogant. You have to know that this person, they want to be good. So the fact that they're like that, don't sit them on the bench to try to calm them down or try to teach them a lesson by limiting their, you know, capacity or opportunity. You need to leverage that. You need to see that for what it is and say, okay, I got this motherfucker who's full of himself, who wants to talk shit. Well, let's see what he can do. And then challenge him to do more, because these types of people always want to do more. And even if you run into someone who doesn't have necessarily the best work ethic, or they appear lazy when you need them to be, then you pull them off to the side and you rip them. And you set that whole fundamental base for the team to let them know that we are here for productivity and performance. And we don't necessarily have to like each other and go out and get drinks and cocktails with each other, but I will respect you as a person and as a player based on your productivity level. So that's what you need to be thinking about, especially when you're dealing with athletes or anybody who may seem a little full of themselves, all right? But that's all I got today. Peace.